I'm going to make a quick video on how I make 4S battery packs using these LiPo cells. This is a 21700 and these are 18650s. I'm going to use 4 of these 18650s to make a 4S battery pack. I use a $44 spot welder on Amazon, Kapton tape, vinyl tape, a little bit of painter's tape, solder. I use nickel strip. What I like is the 10 millimeter by 10 millimeter by 0.15 millimeter thick. Some balancing connectors, and then just some tools. So the first step that I do is I take the vinyl tape and wrap the ends once on the batteries. Let me do that and I'll get back to you. Once I wrap the vinyl tape at the end of each of the batteries, I order them like this and then use painter's tape to tape them together temporarily. Next, I cut my pure nickel strips down to size. I like to round off each end. I'm going to need 3 of these. Okay, so next I take my $44 spot welder. The most important thing to do is to make sure that these probes stay far away from each other. Okay, I take one probe and I use it to hold the strip in place where I want to put it. Position this other one, and then from this point it's very easy. There's one. Let it recharge for a few seconds. There's 2. And I like to do this 6 times. There we go. And we just repeat on the other side. Press, hold everything in place with the first probe. Press. That's 1. That's 2. And that's 3. And then I repeat that same process for the other 3 strips. Then I do the strap here, and I'll flip it over and we'll do one strap on the other side. So I'll do this and then we'll flip it over. Now that I've done both straps on this side, we'll flip it over and do a strap this way. Okay, so we've got the batteries, 4 of them in series. Okay, and with that done, I power off the spot welder, pull the probes out, and put it away. The next step is preparing the balance connector. Got these on Amazon, but the wires are way too short. So 2 of them, I'm going to use some extra wire to lengthen. I'm going to one right in from the 2 wires, one in from the ends. So this black one next to the red one here, and then on the other side, 1 wire in. I'm going to lengthen them the length of the battery pack. Okay, let me do that and I'll show you what that looks like when I'm done. The 2 wires, 1 in from each end, has been lengthened with a wire the length of the battery pack. And then some heat shrink tubing been put on the solder joint. Next, I use a little bit of rosin flux on each of the points that I'm going to solder to, plus the minus, the balance connector. Over here, 1 balance connector, 1 balance connector wire. And we'll do that next. Same thing on the other end, a couple of solder tabs, solder spots there for the balance wiring. Next up is making the power connector. I'll fill these with solder and then plunge these in there. I need to get some heat shrink tube on there first though. And of course we got to make sure we get the polarity right. Red is the square end, black is the pointed end. Have a real battery sitting right next to you to make sure you get it right. and then the balance connector. Red goes to red, the outside black goes to the negative side of the battery, and the one in the middle goes to this tab that's on the top with the two main power connectors. The two long ones we're going to feed through down the middle of the battery. The long black wire next to the red wire on the balance connector is connected to the tab on the negative side of the battery cell that is connected to the positive battery connector. Likewise, the other long black balance wire is connected to the positive side of the cell connected to the negative terminal of the battery. I then clean off the rosin flux with some rubbing alcohol. Then the two ends of the battery are insulated. I use Kapton tape. And finally, I cut a piece of heat shrink tubing to length, slide the battery pack into it, and shrink it down for a nice finished professional look. Give the battery a test on your battery tester, and then give it a charge. She's ready to go. How about that? We've made our own Li-ion battery pack. I'm Greg. Thanks for visiting the project. Next time we'll have some in-flight video. Until then, take care.